Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, we talk about the Royal Rumble recap. We talk about Edge won the men's and Bianca Belair won their respective women's Royal Rumble, won their respective Royal Rumbles. Now it's up to them to see who they're going to challenge going towards WrestleMania. We'll have that. We'll have the Raw Ring Report as Edge makes him start the Raw. He challenged Drew McIntyre. And also Drew McIntyre being heartbroken by his own friend Sheamus. You won't believe what Sheamus did. And NXT, Edge appeared on NXT, coming out trying to challenge, you know who, Finn Balor. But did he lay down the law? Finn Balor got his own problems with Pete Dunne in the Dusty Cup and well, the men's and women's. And on the Smackdown report, Roman Reigns demands that Edge acknowledge him as the tribal chief and challenge him to a match at WrestleMania. Will Edge accept the challenge? Well, the way you see. And also we have numerous on the Hot Topics report as numerous WWE releases from Lars Sullivan and Steve Cutler. And this man having his own problem with Oliver Luck. And you won't believe Hall of Famer, WWE legend had passed away. All this morning, Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. To the Pro Wrestling Show, I'm your host as always, Kid Dix here on this weekend edition. Normal times we do like the Raw report, the Smackdown report, and all that. But we're gonna do it all in one. So, okay, I'm gonna do it for a short time until time comes along. So, first thing first, join the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right, let's get to the Friday Night Smackdown Ring Report. Smackdown kicked off with a doozy as we have found out that Edge and Bianca Belair are both Royal Rumble winners. Edge with lasting almost starting at number 1 and went through the whole Rumble and punched himself a ticket to WrestleMania, as well as Bianca Belair, who won the Women's Royal Rumble. It lasted an hour to win the Women's Rumble. Well, Edge and Bianca Belair had to make that up their minds, but let's start with Roman Reigns kicked off the show. Roman Reigns wanted to know from Edge himself. He wanted Edge to come down. Edge didn't come down. Edge didn't appear on the show yet. Roman Reigns told Edge if he doesn't make an ultimatum, his mind up till the end of the show, you know what? Well, we'll get to that later on. What happened with that? Man, Roman Reigns making ultimatums and saying, "Hey Edge, you need to pick me because I want to go to WrestleMania and be in the main event." But there's been rumors and reports by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer that it could be Edge and Roman, but they're teasing and trying to wait to see how this all gonna play out. But they didn't know. Also, Dominic Mysterio went against King Corbin one-on-one. Dominic had his dad at ringside. Before the match started, Dominic and Ray did their entrance to King Corbin, ambushed both men, throwing Ray out. And then King Corbin thought he had Dominic by himself, but the tables were turned as Ray went under the ring and helped his son Dominic get the victory over King Corbin. With Dominic with the splash, Ray and Dominic using Eddie Guerrero's tactics, lie, cheat, and steal. So that was a good one for Dominic. Also, Cesaro, the King of Swing. Cesaro was in action against Daniel Bryan. Both men were in the Royal Rumble. Neither man made it, won the match, but Daniel Bryan went against King Corbin in a hard, tough fought matchup. But at the end, Cesaro won by the sharpshooter, which I was shocked at that. And Cesaro had blood on his head. But at the end of the match, Cesaro gave Daniel Bryan mutual respect as vice versa. So Daniel Bryan knows that his time is coming. They could have gave Daniel Bryan that. That could have been the marquee match. But I don't know what they doing on SmackDown, to be honest with you. What's going on? I thought Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns would have been the marquee match. But you know how that go. Man. Also, former SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley was in action when she went against Ruby Riott and Billy Kay was at ringside on commentary until Corey Graves got in her ear and said, "Why don't you just team up with Bayley?" And Billy Kay said, "You know what? That's a great idea." And Billy Kay took up Graves' offer, and at the match, Bayley won by pinfall, and Billy Kay wanted to give her resume a picture out to Bayley about joining with Bayley. That could be a good dynamic duo. Could you think? Bayley and Peyton Royce? Only time will tell on that. Also, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode was in action. They went against Chad Gable and Otis. The Street Profits provided commentary when the commentators just stepped out. We probably get their own insight and analysis in the match. But at the end, the Tag Team Champions picked up the win over Otis and Chad Gable. I think Otis did that little splash on Rude. You know how that go. Also, Bianca Belair came out there trying to make her choice, but she only teased. Bianca Belair told the world that she'll make up her mind when the time is right. And Carmella's assistant Reginald came out there saying that she can't beat Sasha Banks, and then Carmella came out there saying that she wants a piece of Sasha Banks, reminding her and the world that she beat Sasha Banks twice, but she didn't win the women's title until the women's champion herself, Sasha Banks, came out there, and it was like like a Jerry Springer thing between these three. On Jerry Springer, Love and Hip Hop. It's the teasing, but Bianca Belair hasn't made up her mind yet on which champion she's gonna go. It's likely gonna be Sasha. They keep teasing it, so I know how that go. And Big E defended his Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against former rival Sami Zayn and friend turned foe Apollo Crews. This match was good from both men. Big E, Apollo used big powerhouse moves. Sami Zayn tried to get him in the base, but now they go. Things just ain't gonna last long. Big E used the splash and got the 1, 2, 3 and retained his Intercontinental Championship. And then finally, Roman Reigns won the answer. Roman Reigns got Edge in the ring. Edge was in the ring, and Roman wanted to know, "Were you gonna challenge me for the Universal title?" Edge kept saying, with groups and stuff, and he just wanted to be up front. Edge didn't give him an answer, and all of a sudden, Kevin Owens came out of nowhere and stunned the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. I'm thinking to myself, like, I thought this rivalry was over with, but I guess not. They're gonna continue this on. They're gonna stretch it to it just don't stretch no more. So we had to wait and see. Roman Reigns laid out by Kevin Owens with the unintended help assistance from Edge. So, all right, that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. Let's move over to the Monday Night Raw Ring Report. As we talk about, Edge appeared, winning the Royal Rumble. Edge kicked off the show, and Drew McIntyre was there in the ring. We thought that Edge and Drew was gonna come out and make the match, but accordingly, Edge teased again. But the WrestleMania challenge, and all of a sudden, Sheamus came out of nowhere and nailed back. McIntyre bro kick. His best friend with Drew looking like he was heartbroken. I can feel for Drew because when you have friends that you try to help, and all of a sudden they turn on you, and you trying to do your best, your end, and I feel for that. And it's like you have to be, Drew's gonna get stronger, and just let Drew knew that Sheamus wasn't his friend, and it's a small big pill to swallow, but now Drew's gonna focus on getting his revenge on Sheamus. Also, Matt Riddle went against Lashley in the U.S. Championship match. Matt Riddle thought he had it in the bag. Lashley went and used that hurt lock on submission until when Lashley refused to restrain himself from the referee's 5 count. Lashley snapped. Lashley look like he's the new Beast incarnate instead of Brock Lesnar. So you know that go. Also, Mustafa Ali, I meant to say, went against Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston came out there to be in support of Xavier. Xavier Woods did get the win over Mustafa Ali. And also, Xavier Woods also challenged Reckoning for a match. Since on Smackdown, Sasha Banks and what's his name doing it, that he felt like he can do it too. Okay. Also, Miz TV segment included Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, and Damian Priest made his Raw debut. He went against The Miz by pinfall. So Damian Priest won with his help with Bad Bunny. He helped Bad Bunny at the Royal Rumble at The Miz and Morrison wanted to be with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny refused and said no. So there you go. Also, the Hurt Business retained the Raw Tag Team titles over Lucha House Party. And then they're still having problems with the Hurt Business, so you know how to go. Also, Lana and Naomi defeated Charlotte and Asuka, Peyton, and Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose to become the new #1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team title. This came after Charlotte and Asuka were supposed to win it, and they lost that Royal Rumble to Nia and Shayna, which made them two-time tag champions. So I think Charlotte's having her problems with Lacey Evans, so we'll see on that end. Also, Carlito making his return. Carlito appeared at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people saying he looked good. He looked jacked. He teamed up with Jeff Hardy, and they went against Elias and Jackson Rocker. And they won. So this is a newfound team between Hardy and Carlito. We'll see. I'll tell Jeff Hardy, watch your back over Carlito. Carlito just got back, and he's looking to backstabbing people left to right. Tell him. Also, Alexa Bliss went against former friend Nikki Cross. Now, this deep-seated rivalry goes back when The Fiend was a wedge between Alexa and Nikki. Alexa and Nikki are former women's tag team champions, but when it comes to The Fiend, Alexa chose The Fiend. Alexa defeated Nikki Cross and got the 1, 2, 3. Also, Edge went against Randy Orton for one last time. Edge and Randy Orton battled it out. Last fought at Backlash for the greatest match ever, where Randy Orton won and it caused Edge to be out of the shelf. But Edge came back and with a pinfall, with a little help and distraction from Alexa Bliss, Edge won. Alexa Bliss with that blood coming out. Alexa Bliss getting revenge after Randy Orton had RKO'd her. And he burnt her to crisp. Alright, that ends the Raw Ring Report. When we come back, we'll have hot topics and the NXT Ring Report and a little bit of the AEW Ring Report for Beach Break. We'll have this moment. The Pro Wrestling Show continues after this. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe as you can. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Alright, let's get to hot topics. On hot topics this week, we are saddened to report that the natural Bush Reed, who was a wrestling WWE, Mid-South, and WCW, had passed away this week at the age of 66. Bush Reed himself said that he was suffering 2 heart attacks, and then we found out the devastating news that Bush Reed had passed away. We know that Ron Simmons had something to say, and a lot of people. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Bush Reed, the natural, at this time. Also, Lars Sullivan and Steve Cutler has been released. Now, no, Lars Sullivan had a lot of controversy surrounding him about the gay porn, not showing up, having issues, and with the women texting. So I think Ryan was on the wall with Lars. Also, Steve Cutler, they said he got fired because he had coronavirus. Are you serious? And WWE, but his girlfriend is Deonna Purrazzo, so look forward for him going to Impact sooner rather than later. I still can't believe WWE fired him because he had coronavirus. Wow. Just let you know. Also, a trial date been set for the XFL legal battle between Oliver Lutt, the former XFL commissioner, and Mr. McMahon, the former owner of the XFL. Well, these two were businessmen and they couldn't get along. Lutt sued McMahon for not paying the money, and McMahon countersued Lutt for not trying to hire a Pacific athlete. So we just have to see and wait on that. Also, WWE brings back Vengeance for NXT TakeOver. So WWE bring back Vengeance for NXT TakeOver, but they could take the WCW pay-per-views and make it like a special, and then they want to take the WWE theme pay-per-views and make it like a pay-per-view. I tell you. Tell you right now. Also, Parker Budo signs with WWE. This was a top prospect. Many people consider him the next big thing. Many people think he's like Brock Lesnar's legitimate son, but we'll see. Going forward. Also, in other news, we found out WWE star Tyler Ricks is making a transition from a man to a woman. She wants to be known as Gabby instead of Tyler. He felt like that he was not being himself, so he felt like he wanted to be more transparent, and well, there you go. So we'll see how all this comes out with that. And a lot of people say Cesaro is staying in WWE. People die after WrestleMania. Cesaro, where he gonna stay? Cesaro staying. If he be dead, what? He know he's staying. So you know how that is. Also, Darius Leonard, NFL linebacker, challenged Triple H to a match. So we'll see with that. But a lot of news making stuff. We found a legend passed away. 2 releases, and former superstar is turning to a trans. So how that go? Also, that ends hot topics. Let's move over to the NXT Ring Report. The NXT Ring Report. The Women's Dusty Team Classic Semifinals. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeat Casey Cesaro and Caitlin Carter. Thank God they defeated those keyboard L's. No joke on that, like I say. Also, Austin Theory defeated Leon Ruff by pinfall. So, with the help of Johnny Gargano and Kushida having their problems, they're going to fight at NXT Vengeance for the NXT North American title. Also, the Men's Dusty Rhodes Classic, where La Familia, Joaquin Radona Mendoza defeats Lucha House Party and Grand Metro Elite by pinfall. And Finn Balor and Pete Dunne will fight at Vengeance for the NXT World Championship. Edge interrupted their promo and said that he'll be watching and make Pete the winner for his WrestleMania challenge. Edge been teasing either Drew, Finn, or Roman. You like him to go against Roman. That's what I think. Johnny Gargano will face Kushida for the North American title. We talked about that. Toni Storm versus Jessica ending with Mercedes Martinez. With eventually Io Shirai with the referee throwing them out. We found out there's going to be a triple threat match for that women's championship. Toni Storm, Io, and Mercedes Martinez. NXT Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar to retain the title over Kurt Stallion. But Kevin Karrion Kross came out there and issued a warning to the Cruiserweight Champion. You just had to wait and see what that warning was. Also, men's ended with the main event, men's Dusty Rhodes Classic. Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa defeat the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong by pinfall. So it was. I don't know what happened to Tommaso Ciampa's hair. He should have just left his hair like alone, but it's your bald and stuff. So that is the NXT Ring Report. We would do the AEW Ring Report, but this AEW had its own report with Tony, well not Tony, but all I said is Miro, Orange Cassidy, with Penelope, what's her name, Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian are married. So congratulations to the couple. That's Apparently it. And then Kenta came out there and attacked John Moxley during that match. So that's been it. And then Shaq and Cody will have their match in March 3rd. So it's probably ain't having a pay-per-view, but to each his own. Alright. That ends the Pro Wrestling Show for this weekend. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.